Hey guys, what is going on? LegoMan123 are back with another video, and welcome to my 400 subscribers Q&A special. Before I get into it, I just want to quickly thank you guys so much for all the questions you did ask in my 400 subscribers special. You all did ask some really awesome and interesting questions, so I'm definitely really excited to answer them. So without further ado, let's get into it. So firstly, we have some questions from Bounty Hunter Bricks, and his first question is, how do you feel about how they wrapped up Star Wars? I believe that might be The Rise of Skywalker, and I think they wrapped it up pretty nicely. It was definitely really interesting knowing that Rey was actually related to, like, Palpatine, and she is like a Palpatine herself, so that was interesting to actually know. And then, like, the whole battles and all that were definitely really enjoyable. And then there was this really strange thing where Rey could actually heal Kylo Ren, or just like, I think his name is Ben, like she could heal him using like the Force or something. Really strange how they actually introduced it like now, because that would have been really helpful in like the past situations, like say Order 66, they could have healed a bunch of people, and like how did Yoda not know about that? So really sort of strange how they only introduced it then, and then like the whole battle with like the ships and all that were definitely really cool. And then Ben versus Kylo Ren, also Rey, that was a really nice battle between those two, because like Ben was versing, I believe it's like Ren soldiers. Oh, I forgot their names, so sorry about that. But like Ben pulled out a lightsaber from like his back and then like hit their butt. That was really cool. And then the battle between Rey and Palpatine was interesting, with like the whole sort of Force ghost thing, or like sort of voices in her head as she's like sort of unconscious. That was definitely really interesting. And then the ending of it was pretty sort of shocking as well, because like she had a yellow lightsaber, which I believe is a like purified red lightsaber. I'm not 100% sure on that. And then she like saw the ghost of Princess Leia, and then Princess Leia Organa, and then Luke, and like this lady says, "Who are you?" and she says, "I'm a Skywalker." So definitely interesting there, and I thought they wrapped it up pretty nicely. But I'm very excited to see if Disney or like Star Wars create like another trilogy. I'm not sure what it may be about, but I think it'll be still exciting. His next question is, do you think Cara Dune, I believe that's her name, has a large effect in the Mandalorian for the couple of episodes she was in? And I think she has like a large effect on like the Mandalorian and all that, because she was quite sort of nice to him, and like I think she definitely made a really good sort of teammate or like team person on the Mandalorian's team, and she's definitely pretty skillful in like weaponry and all that. And I really feel like her and the Mandalorian could definitely like sort of get into a really nice relationship with one another. And the final question he did ask was, how do you feel if Boba Fett was to appear in the Mandalorian? And I thought it would be definitely really interesting to see him like reappear in the Mandalorian, because I believe Boba Fett is actually a Mandalorian, or he sort of disguises himself as a Mandalorian. I'm not 100% sure on like his backstory. It would be really cool to actually see him, but I feel like they would have to come up with like a really good backstory on how he actually did escape from like that sort of creature in, I believe it was Tatooine. Like he does get eaten by like the sort of creature in the massive hole. So they would definitely have to come up with not like an excuse, but like a reason how he actually escaped. Like, did he like quickly like fix up his sort of jet and like fly away? I feel like if they were to come up with like a reason or like an excuse, like he just walks like away or like climbs out, I think that'd be like really lazy. So they really have to come up with like a good reason how he actually escaped from like Tatooine and all that. But I think he could definitely appear, and I think it'd be pretty awesome, and it would be really cool if he actually teamed up with the Mandalorian. I think that'd be definitely great. Next, we have a question from Bricked Rice, and her question was, what first got you into Legos? And that is definitely a really interesting question, because at first I really wasn't into it. I think it was around like 2009 or 10. I was just like watching like YouTube channels like Just Too Good, I really had like no interest in it. I thought it was really just cool to actually see like a YouTuber just like sort of play and like build with Lego. And then I watched like other small YouTubers at that time, like I'm not 100% sure, but I think Just Too Good was like my sort of big inspiration. And then I went to like a store, I believe it was like Kmart, and I saw like this Lego section, and then I saw this Lego set, and like I thought it was like really cool. It was like the pirate one. It was like the small sort of pirate survival one. That was actually my first Lego set, and like after that, like I built it and I pretty much like lost all the pieces. And then like in maybe 2011, like that's when I sort of really got into Lego, like began collecting it. But then I sort of like stopped because of like I didn't really have that much money, and I could only get it like in Christmas time and my birthday. But then after I got like money for like Christmas, I would like go and spend it. But I think Just Too Good was like my big sort of inspiration into actually collecting Lego, because every time I saw like his videos, I was like, oh man, I wish I had a set like that, or wow, this guy is so good at Lego, and like, how's he get so much of it? Next, we have a question from Crazy Bricks, and his question, or hers question, is, what's your favorite Lego set? I would probably have to say, like, the police station in my Lego Man City, because that is by far the oldest and still, like, stable Lego set in my collection. It is definitely like really weak because like the pieces are all like yellow and crinkled because it's like such an old set. So I really don't want to move it too much, because I feel like if I was to do, it would like maybe like just completely sort of crumble and all that. But then I also have a favorite set of the Whomping Wheeler. That is definitely a really cool set. I just love all the minifigs, the build, and pretty much like the Great Hall as well. I really want to get that set. I think it's definitely a great set. Like the build is pretty amazing. The minifig selection is great. And then also maybe like I believe it's Stormbringer from Ninjago. That is definitely a really cool dragon build. A lot of great detailing on it. The design definitely does look great. Next we have a question from Lights, Camera, and Lego. And they asked, what is your favorite Lego theme? I would probably have to say Ninjago, because I think that's a really cool theme. And it is a sort of Lego sort of theme, because they actually did come up with its like original idea from them. And then like each set has some really cool minifigs. Like each wave of Ninjago sets have some great new suits, and each of the builds are really cool. I would also probably have to say Harry Potter, because I'm a pretty big fan of the Harry Potter world, and I think Lego created some pretty epic Lego sets in the Wizarding world, like the Great Hall, Whomping Willow, and like the whole extension onto like Hogwarts with each of like the small like builds and all that are definitely really cool. So I really want to get like a display of that. And like the Quidditch match, that was definitely a really creative idea how they did that. So definitely Harry Potter, and probably like Ninjago, and maybe like Lego City, but I haven't collected too many Lego City sets because none of them have like been eye-popping, and not much of them have been interesting to me. But maybe in the future I might collect some more Lego City sets. Next we have a question from Lego J Bricks, and his question is, what is your favorite Lego minifig series, and why is it your favorite? I would probably have to say the Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts series 1, because I'm a really big fan of Harry Potter, and each minifig had some really cool molds on them, like new molds, some really nice printing, and it was definitely really cool to see Harry Potter minifigs, which we haven't gotten in like a while. Like there was like a Dean Thomas, a Dumbledore, so it was really cool to actually see a bunch of Harry Potter minifigs like in a sort of a new generation with like some great printing on them and like new variants of the minifigs. And then they recently released, or I believe like maybe a couple of months ago, the Harry Potter series 2, and I'm really excited to like collect some of those minifigs because they definitely have some great variants. Next, we have some questions from Lego Piece Studios. His first question is, what is your favorite Ninjago set so far? I would probably have to say the Stormbringer from, I believe, Season 9 of Ninjago, which was titled Hunted. I really love the build for that, the design for it, the amount of detailing on it. But I could also maybe possibly say, maybe like the Gamers Market. That was definitely a really cool set with some, I believe it was like 9 minifigs, some great variants there, and also some exclusive minifigs. And then maybe, no, I think Stormbringer is my favorite Ninjago set. Then we have, who's your favorite Ninjago character? I would probably have to say Lloyd, because I really do enjoy the story he does have. In the first season, he starts off as like a brat of a child, like he's sort of trying to be similar to his father, or like evil and like a bad guy, but he's not very good at it. And then like he sort of transfers into being like a good guy, like he was chosen, or like it's his destiny to be the Green Ninja. So that was really interesting to know about that. And then just the story he does have, and like him growing up, being like a part of the ninja team and all that, was definitely really interesting. But my favorite part of Lloyd's story would probably have to be during the events of season 8 and 9, because he gets into a relationship with Princess Harumi, but then like that sort of backfires on him, because secretly Princess Harumi is like the quiet one, and she has this whole sort of organization of the Sons of Garmadon, and they want to bring back Garmadon, and like they sort of not break up, but like they sort of disconnect from one another, because like one's good and one's bad. And then Lloyd actually does lose his powers after he actually fights his father, and just to see him struggle and sort of cope with that was definitely really interesting. I also really liked how he didn't like give up, because he did have some really good friends like Nia, Mystique, and like the Elemental Masters. So it was really cool to actually see that he gave up on himself, but I really liked how his friends didn't give up on him, and it was really cool to see like the transformation he actually did, because he didn't really need his powers as much as he thought, because he thought without his powers he's like not the Green Ninja, he's like nothing. But after like some really sort of wise words from Mystique, I believe her name is like Nia, he actually became the Green Ninja without any powers, and then he actually does regain his powers, which was really cool to see. Next we have, what kind of set would you like to see in Season 14 of Ninjago? Now, I have heard rumors that it might be a Lloyd or Nia season, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I would definitely love to see, now I'm not sure if like the new wave of legacy sets count for Season 14, but I would love to see sets from like some of 4, because they definitely have a lot more to go for 4 for legacy. Even like 5, they could do some great sets for that. But specifically Season 14, I would I would definitely love to see sets with like each of the ninjas with their like new ninja suits on, some new characters we haven't gotten. I would definitely love to see some really great builds as well. Maybe like a sort of final battle build, maybe like a sort of one with like each of the ninjas versus like henchmen and all that. I think that'd be really cool. And then we have, what are your guesses for Season 14? As I did say, I would probably have to say it will be a Lloyd or Nia season, and almost it might be like a sort of water chapter, just like the ice and, well, fire and ice chapter. Like they have to sort of continue that sort of idea, and it also might be like an energy chapter, but we have gotten something like that in the Oni trilogy from 8, 9, and 10, so really interesting to see what they actually do for Season 14. It also might be like a sort of celebrating sort of series, because in 2021, Season 14 is 10 years of Ninjago, which is definitely something pretty big. So I'm excited to see if they have like a whole sort of season dedicated to like celebrating and all that, or if they just have like, say, a movie, like maybe like a half an hour movie or something like that of like them celebrating. And then some of the Season 14 sets might possibly be like the ninjas like celebrating, like a sort of decorated monastery with like decorations to actually celebrate that. And then also the Ninja Gardens will be the 10th anniversary set, so excited to see if like the ninja are going to be in that, or is it just going to be like sort of Lego Ninjago movie based. And then the next question is, favorite Harry Potter movie? I would probably have to say the Goblet of Fire, because I really did enjoy that, with like the whole sort of Triwizard Tournament, and then like the sort of Ron and Hermione sort of like not betraying, but sort of like ditching Harry, because like they're not sure if Harry put his name in the Goblet of Fire, and then like Ron sort of slowly getting back at Harry to be his friend and all that. So that was definitely really interesting for the first time actually seeing the three friends sort of like split off from one another, but Hermione was definitely with Harry, which was really nice to see. And then it was sad seeing Cedric Diggory actually get killed by Wormtail, but I felt like it actually had to happen for Harry to actually experience sort of death for like the first time and actually understand the meaning of it. And then like the final sort of battle between Voldemort and Harry was definitely very interesting because like this thing happened where they actually sort of connected once. There's a specific name for it, but I can't remember. I think it's like, yeah, I can't not remember the name of it. And then like seeing four ghosts actually come out of Voldemort's wand. We had James, Lily, and then like the old man in the sort of first moment of the Goblet of Fire, and then Cedric Diggory. That was really interesting, but pretty sort of shocking to actually see that. And then I thought it was really interesting with like the sort of whole Dumbledore and all that, with like the other sort of like headmasters of the other schools. That was really cool with like the different schools, like the Beauxbatons Academy, and then the Sons of, oh, I forgot the names of them. But it was really cool how they actually introduced two schools, or like two new schools, into the Harry Potter world. It would have been really cool to actually hear more about them. Next we have a question from the AN Brickers, and his question is, or her question is, when did you start buying Lego, and when and why did you start a YouTube channel? So, I started buying Lego around 2011 because I did get my first set then, or maybe it was 2010, I'm not 100% sure on that, but then maybe in 2011 I actually began to collect Lego a lot more, and then in like 2012 it sort of like grew more and more, and then in like 2013 it might have grew more and more, getting more and more Lego sets. So, and now in 2020 I have a pretty big Lego collection. And then the next question was, why did you start a YouTube channel? That is definitely a great question, and I sometimes do get that a lot when I actually do Q&As. And then the reason is because I really wanted to start a YouTube channel to like share my Lego collection, and just to sort of have people enjoy my videos, sharing my thoughts and opinions on different things, and also like upload like reviews, stop motions, because I really wanted to like entertain people with like my content, and I think I've actually achieved that, and I really wanted to achieve that sort of level of entertaining people, and I'm really glad I actually have. Next we have some questions, well, a lot of questions from Ninja Brick Studios. His first question is, how long have you done YouTube for? And I believe it's about 4 years, maybe, I believe, because I did start my channel in September, I think maybe 13th or something, not 100% sure on the exact date, but I definitely know it was September of 2016, so I believe it's 4 years, but then next year I believe it might be 5 years, not 100% sure on the exact time, but I believe it's somewhere around there. His next question is, who do you think will be the focus ninja for Season 14? And I would possibly say maybe like Lloyd or Nia, but I really do hope it's Nia, because I feel like Lloyd has gotten the most sort of focus in each of the seasons. Like, he had the sort of whole Oni trilogy to him, basically. He had some of Season 1, a bit of maybe Season 4, so he definitely has like the main focus, Lloyd. But I could definitely understand why, because he is like the main ninja. But I would definitely love to see like a whole season dedicated to Nia, because Season 5 was like almost her season, because like she became like the water ninja, but I feel like she has definitely evolved and became a really good sort of water elemental master, so I would definitely love to see a season dedicated to her. And also maybe the season might be like a focus on all of the ninja, because in 2021 that will be like 10 years, and Season 14 will be celebrating the 10-year anniversary of Ninjago, so it might be like a whole season dedicated to like the ninja and all that, like maybe going through like past events and all that. I think that'd be really cool. And then his next question is, what pieces did you use to make your profile picture? That is definitely a great question. I'm not 100% sure on the exact pieces. I believe the hairpiece can be found in like most sets. It's just like a brown hairpiece with like a sort of design to it. You can pretty much use any sort of hairpiece. And then the headpiece, or like the facial expression is just a facial expression with glasses. You could pretty much use whichever one you want, apart from like the big ones, because I think it's a little cartoonish and not as sort of serious, and I think the ones with like the small glasses definitely do look really nice. So pretty much any sort of facial expression with glasses, and then the torso can pretty much be whatever you want as well, but I think I got that in, oh man, the train station passenger set from no, I don't think it was that set. I'm not 100% sure on the exact piece, but I think you could possibly look it up on like Bricklink or like just search it up. It's pretty much just a torso with like a blue jacket because that's my favorite color, and then like I believe a green sort of shirt under that because green is also my favorite color. But you can use pretty much whatever torso you want, and then the pants are pretty much very simple. They're just like blue pants with like a sort of dark color to it. Pretty much found in most LEGO City sets, I believe, and some of the LEGO themes. His next question is, who's your favorite Ninjago character besides the Ninja, Wu, Pixel, and Scarlor? I would probably have to say, maybe like Harumi, but I know she is a bad guy, but I really did like her, because at first I thought it's just going to be another sort of girl who's in a relationship with a ninja, because we already do have that with Jay and Nia, and they are on the same team, so I was really not expecting too much to actually be in that relationship, but I thought it was definitely really nice how actually Lloyd had a relationship. But then that all does change when we learn that Harumi is like the quiet one. That was pretty shocking to actually learn about that, and like the whole sort of backstory about how she became the quiet one, how she wants to bring back Garmadon was definitely pretty shocking. But she's probably my favorite Ninjago character out of like the villains, and also apart from the Ninja, Wu, Pixel, and Scarlet. Next question is, do you wish Hidden Side continued? And I really didn't collect too much Hidden Side sets, but they definitely did have some great sets with some really cool play features, like interacting with the app, and like some really nice minifigs with some great printing. But I felt like it was gonna like slowly sort of die out, because with the app you actually have to have a specific sort of phone. I think it's like an iPhone 11 or like the sort of latest phone when the app actually did come out. So that maybe like upsetted a few people, because say if you had like a phone like mine and you couldn't actually download it because it wasn't like the sort of newest phone, you really couldn't interact with the app. And I kind of felt like that was the sort of main attraction to actually getting the Hidden Side sets, was to interact with the app and have this really cool experience. So I think that is why it may have died out. But I can definitely see that it could have continued if like LEGO moved the app to like sort of old phones, but I can see why they didn't do that, because it may have like sort of stuffed up the phone, or like you may have needed like a specific software or like a specific sort of phone to actually make it work. But I could definitely see LEGO kind of doing that. And then I feel like the sets really didn't get too much attention, but I'm not 100% sure on why. But I felt like Hidden Side didn't actually stop, because I did hear something about that it was going to continue from like Ashen Flash, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I might be getting like mixed up. His next question is, what advice do you have for new YouTubers? I would probably say just be yourself and upload what you feel comfortable uploading, like reviews, stop motions, and all that type of stuff. And also, upload stuff what you would enjoy uploading. Don't just upload something what everyone else is uploading. So say if like there's a massive sort of craze going on and you really don't like it, just don't upload a video what you don't feel comfortable with. Because if you want to try be in with the crowd and all that, I really wouldn't recommend doing that, because then it's going to be like really confusing to know what like the new craze is. And if you accidentally like upload a video what the craze has like gone, then you might be like called like names and all that for like missing like the new crazes. So I would just say like be yourself and upload videos what you feel comfortable with, like reviews, stop motions, and also share your own thoughts and opinions about what you have to say. Just don't like copy someone's own thoughts and opinions. Say if I was to upload a video and like share my thoughts and opinions, don't just like copy every word and like change a couple of things to make it sound your own thoughts and opinions, because I feel like that really isn't your own thoughts and opinions, because everyone does have their own thoughts and opinions, and don't be scared or shy to share what you have to say, because people will listen to your thoughts and opinions, and people may agree and disagree, but that is totally fine, because everyone does have their own thoughts and opinions, and everyone is definitely very respectful of your own thoughts and opinions, so there's nothing to be scared or shy about. But if you are, then I completely do understand. His next question is, will you ever do a face reveal? And I'm probably gonna say maybe when I get to 1,000 subscribers, which is definitely a really big milestone. I'm only, I believe, like around 595, I believe, away from 1,000, which is actually pretty sort of shocking to actually know that. So I might actually do a face reveal at 1,000, but if I don't do one at 1,000, then probably maybe 2,000 or something. I'm not 100% sure yet. His next question is, how often do you get sets? I would probably say maybe, I do get a lot of sets on my birthday and Christmas, but apart from those two sort of special days, I would probably say maybe a couple of times a year. It really does depend on how much money I do get for like Christmas and my birthday. I do try to save up and then actually spend it when there's like sets on sale, or I just really want to get some Lego sets. Maybe 3 times a year, but that is definitely a really low number. Maybe 8 times a year, something along the lines of that, but I'm not too sure on it. His next question is, what are your top 10 favorite shows? I really don't watch too many TV shows. I usually just watch a bunch of movies, but I definitely do have some TV shows. So I would probably say Avatar: The Last Airbender, my favorite show, and then probably The Legend of Korra next, and then Ninjago, and then the cartoon of The Adventures of Tintin. So that is my top 4. I really don't watch too many TV shows. Really sorry that I couldn't do a top 10 favorite shows, but I would also maybe probably say, I'm really not sure on that, so very sorry about that. His next question is, what will you be doing when you hit the big 1K? And that is definitely a great question. I would probably say, maybe a face reveal, but that may be, very slim. I may not actually do that, I'm not too sure. Maybe, a really big contest, or, maybe, you can choose between a mock, a stop motion, pretty much anything you can do, for that one, for 1K. Maybe, some sort of, a giveaway or something with, it really does depend on if, the sort of whole sort of pandemic sort of stops by then, because I really don't want to, do a giveaway, and then, I can't send it because, the whole pandemic. And then I may do something really big. I'm not too sure. We'll just have to wait when we actually get closer to the big 1K. And then his final question is, what's your favorite video I made? That's okay, you can definitely ask that sort of question. I would probably say, maybe your stop motions. I think they are definitely really enjoyable, and you have definitely improved from your earlier stop motions with the movement and all that. But apart from that, I would probably also say maybe your reviews, because they are definitely enjoyable to watch as well, hearing your thoughts and opinions. Next we have a question or questions from Vincent Threk. Very sorry if I'm pronouncing your last name wrong. And his first question is, how many minifigs do you have in your whole Lego collection? And, maybe 500, maybe that might be a little big. Maybe somewhere between 300 to 500, because I definitely know I don't have 100 to 200 minifigs, because I last counted, I think it's over 200, so it might be in between 3 and 500, which is definitely a lot of minifigs. I might have to count them all up and give you guys a really big update. And then his next question is, what do you make your videos on? I make my videos on my iPad, which I've got a couple of versions of iPads, because my first one, it kind of completely shut down for some very strange reason, and the only way to get back into it is something really sort of strange. It's like an Apple ID thing. I'm not 100% sure what that actually is. So then I actually moved to another iPad, and then I moved to another iPad. I'm not 100% sure why I moved again, but I now use this iPad, and I believe I've used it for like maybe like a year or so, or like maybe 11 months. I'm not 100% sure on the exact time I've actually used this iPad, but it's definitely really great. Because I do use like the sort of case as like the sort of stand for the iPad, so I can like position the camera in different ways. And then sometimes it's a little sort of heavy when I have to like sort of stand up and all that to actually like show stuff, like go on my tippy toes and all that. And then sometimes it can be like a little annoying, like sort of carrying such a big thing around while recording videos. And I then use iMovie to make the videos and then edit them, so that is really cool. And I would definitely recommend that for anyone starting out YouTube, because it's definitely very easy to use. And if you do sort of have sort of trouble with using it, I would definitely recommend like searching up videos, because there's probably like countless videos on YouTube explaining like how to use it. If you would like a detailed sort of run through on how I actually use it, then please tell me down in the comments below, because I'd be definitely happy to. Next, we have a question which is like worded differently, but it is technically the same question, and this is from the Lego Siren Maker. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. And he says, how many minifigs have you? How many minifigs have you? I think maybe have you got? But I probably have around maybe like 300 to 500 minifigs. Next, we have a couple of questions from Jay Bricks. His first question is, what's your favorite season of Ninjago? I would probably have to say the Sons of Garmadon or season 1, because I feel like if they didn't get like good reviews and like good responses on season 1, Ninjago really wouldn't be still around today, because Ninjago has almost been around for 10 years, which is definitely pretty cool. And if season 1 didn't go as well as they hoped, then I feel like Ninjago would like sort of die out, and it would just be like another TV show. But Ninjago season 1 was definitely really cool. I really did enjoy like the story with like the serpentine, like the ninjas, like sort of getting into like the ninja sort of form, like with, I believe it's the DX form or something like that. It may not be DX, like, I'm not 100% sure on what it actually is called, but like, they were getting introduced to a whole bunch of new stuff to actually become their sort of better selves and their stronger selves. And then Lloyd being like a sort of brat kid, and then he grew to be the Green Ninja. And then also season 8, the Sons of Garmadon. That was definitely a great season, with like the whole sort of Sons of Garmadon, the ninja like protecting the princess with like the 3 Oni masks. Definitely a lot did happen in that, and I really liked how it did continue in season 9 as well. Then we have, how do you feel about Hidden Side coming to an end? I did answer this question not too long ago, but I would probably say I'm not too worried about or like upset that Hidden Side did end, because I kind of felt like it was like going to happen, because the app on the phone can only be on like a specific phone. I believe it's like an iPhone 11 or like the sort of newest phone when the app actually did come out. And like that is the one thing to actually interact with all the sets, because there's like a mechanism on every set where like you can turn the wheel and it has different colors, and that's a really big play feature in the app. And I feel like people sort of lost interest in it, because when I first saw it I was like, wow, cool, you can interact with an app using like the sets and all that. But then I realized you had to have a specific sort of phone to actually access it, which was quite upsetting, because I think I would definitely continue like collecting Hidden Side if you could actually do that, because it is really cool with like the whole animation and all that with the app. So I feel like if they were to have it on like maybe like all or iPhones or like sort of phones and all that in general, would definitely be helpful, and I think would definitely have Hidden Side more longer, because like more people would interact with it. And instead of just having on like one phone, if you don't have that phone, then like you really can't interact with it, which is definitely a shame. His next question is, do you like / enjoy Mia? I believe I'm not 100%, I think it's Mia, and I believe he's talking about the character from the Monkey Kid TV show. I've actually I've not actually seen any of the episodes from that because I'm not sure if it's like an exclusive Cartoon Network thing, but I don't think it is. I don't think it's airing in Australia at the moment, but I think she, just from like the sets and like what she actually does have for like torso prints and all that, I think she definitely does look like a pretty cool character with like her sort of dragon seahorse transport thing in like the cheapest not hidden side, Monkey Kid set. And then she does have some really cool like printing for like a green dragon. She kind of seems like that sort of futuristic inventor type person, which I think is definitely really cool, and sort of a high-tech person who uses technology for like machines and all that, which I think is definitely really cool. But apart from that, I really can't say too much else because I'm really not sure on her like personality and all that because I actually have not seen any of the episodes. And then the next question is, how long have you started YouTube? I would probably say around 4 years because I did start YouTube in September, and I'm not sure on the exact like date, but I know what year it was. 2016, I believe it was like September 14th or something like that. But that is pretty interesting to actually know because 4 years on YouTube is pretty interesting in my opinion. And then his final question is favorite video of mine, and that's okay if you just made it up. I would definitely answer it. I would probably say the Ninjago episode titled The Sad Truth, I believe it was called. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was called that. That was definitely a great episode. I really did enjoy like everything about it. The story was very enjoyable. The voice acting, the movement, just the whole idea of that stop motion was definitely really cool. And it was definitely quite sad in some aspects. Next, we have a two-part question from Mega Prime Films. And his question is, are you ever going to make a full-length Ninjago stop-motion movie? And probably, most definitely, yes. But the only problem with that is I would probably need like a lot of time to actually make, say, like a 10-minute sort of stop-motion length film of Ninjago. And I would need like a solid idea. I just don't want to have like a really boring idea, like a idea what could be like resolved or solved in like a 2-minute film. I really want it to be like a really good idea what lasts like say 10 minutes, and I would need like a lot of time to actually do it so then I can film and edit it. So I'll most likely probably do it in like when I have my 6 weeks holidays off from school, so I might possibly actually do it then. I'm not too sure on that. And then the other part is, how long would it be? I'd probably say maybe like 10 minutes. I think that'd be a good length. But if it's like a really good idea, I'd maybe possibly 15 minutes, but that may be pushing it. So definitely stay tuned for like a sort of full-length Ninjago stop-motion movie. Maybe when I actually have my like 6 weeks off from school, so then I have like enough time to like make it, film it, and then edit it. But I would definitely need a really good idea to actually last like a while. Next, we have a couple of questions from Ninjago Stop Motion's Zane Fangirl. Her first question is, when did you first start your channel, and did you expect to get this far? I first started my channel in, I believe, September 14th, or somewhere in September and in 2016, and no, I did not expect to actually get this far in 4 years. It's definitely been a really great journey because when I first started, I really had like no idea I would get this far. I was like, I'm just getting a couple of views, it's really not going to change. But then like, I think maybe after like 2 years or like a year, my views slowly started to gain more and more, and then that is what like pushed me and motivated me to upload more and more because I really enjoyed seeing those views go up. And to see comments, I was like, wait, people actually like my videos and comment? I was definitely really shocked to see that. And now it's just really enjoyable to see comments every time I upload a video, all these sort of positivity in those comments, all the support you guys do give me. I really didn't not expect back then to be at 405 subscribers. I just want to quickly thank you guys so much once again for that. Her next question is, do you like to draw, color, or sketch? And I sometimes actually do that when I'm like in bed and like I just lay there for like a while drawing, or like sort of sit up and draw or color or sketch. But I don't really do that as often. I sometimes do it when I'm like bored or something, or like when I'm waiting or something, but I really don't do it as much. I sometimes like maybe draw stuff like letters and all that, but it's nothing too interesting. I also sometimes do color. I did have this like Harry Potter like coloring book. It's like one of those really cool ones with like, it's almost like a scene taken from the film, but they've like sort of sketched it out and all that, and you just color it in. And then the next question is, she does ask, is if you didn't do reviews or animations, what do you think your channel would be about? Now that is definitely a great question, because my very first video was an animation, and then like I did upload like loads of stop motions when I did first start, and then reviews I did, I think like 2 years ago. The first one was the Aragog lair, I believe, or the, no, I think it was Aragog's lair. I would probably say I would maybe do stuff about like maybe movies or like shows, like sharing my thoughts and opinions on it. Like, does reviews on TV shows count as like a review? I'd probably say yes, but I would possibly maybe do like movies and TV shows, like a bunch of stuff related to that, like maybe more top 10 videos of like that, maybe like tier list, but I really didn't know what that was until like maybe about 2 months ago, maybe, no, I think it's about 2 months ago. So I'd maybe do stuff like about movies and films, and also maybe like Avatar The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra, but I didn't discover Avatar The Last Airbender till about February, I'm gonna say. And then The Legend of Korra, I've known that for quite a while. Like, when it first came out in 2014, I actually did watch it. I did watch, like, majority of the seasons, like, from season 1 to 4. So I did know a little bit about that. And finally, we have some questions from Noob Lego Builder. His first question is the Batman trailer. Now, I thought it was interesting how they're releasing a new Batman movie. I believe it coincides with the DC universe, with like with like Superman and all that. They're sort of redoing the whole universe like that, which I think is an interesting idea. And Robert Pattinson, I think he plays definitely a sort of dark character as Batman. I think he's definitely a great role for Batman. But the trailer, it really didn't like sort of a scream out Batman to me. It was just like some sort of like horror version of Batman, because like I really couldn't tell what was going on, because I think I did see Commissioner Gordon and like this whole idea about this guy who like writes letters to Batman, something like pretty sort of horror related and also pretty spooky. But I really wish we got like a new version of the Joker. We'll actually see a new version of the Joker in that trailer. I think that'd be really cool to actually see that, and it could possibly coincide maybe like a couple of years after the events of Joker. I think that'd be really interesting. But apart from that, I think the trailer definitely looked very sort of horror related, with like the sort of music, the sort of scenes it did show. My only problem with it though was that in a scene when Batman was actually beaten up like one of the bad guys, people say, "Who are you?" and he says, "I'm Vengeance." I was really disappointed in that, because it would have been so cool to hear Robert Pattinson say, "I'm Batman," in like a dark and sort of broony voice, instead of just saying, "I'm Vengeance." But the suit definitely does look really cool, and it kind of does remind me of Batman's suit from Beyond, with like the red coloring, and then also the Batmobile does look really cool. But we're definitely gonna have to wait for the Batman movie, because we did get this news a couple of days ago that Robert Pattinson was actually tested positive, which is definitely a shame, because we're going to have to wait a little more longer for the Batman. His next question is top 5 movies. I would probably say The Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, then The Hobbit, and then Back to the Future, and then Indiana Jones. His next question is the Lego set you want but never got around to getting it. I would probably say, maybe like the Great Hall set that was from 2018, the first wave of Harry Potter sets. I really want to get it, and hopefully, maybe I might get it in the future, and also possibly maybe the Lord of the Rings set or the Hobbit ones, but they were from 2010, and believe from 2010 to 2012, but I might be mistaken there. I didn't even know what The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit was until, like, maybe 2016, and, like, The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings sets were, like, out of stock, and they didn't have any sets for The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings in stores because it was retired. So I really do regret not actually getting into Lord of the Rings sooner or The Hobbit sooner, because they definitely did make some great sets. But maybe, hopefully, in like the future, I may get them like secondhand off like Bricklink or something. And then the final question he did say was, what movies made you cry? And that is definitely an interesting question. I would probably have to say, maybe like there's one of Inside Out. That was definitely quite sad, but very interesting. And then maybe Fox and the Hound. That was definitely a sad one. And then, maybe, that honestly may be it. I'm just trying to think. Definitely an interesting question. Honestly, I think that might be it. Just The Fox and the Hound and Inside Out. Those are the two movies what made me cry. So, hope you guys did enjoy this Q&A as much as I did making it and also answering your questions, because that was something definitely really enjoyable to do, because every one of you asked some pretty great questions, even if it was 1 or like 7. Each question was definitely really interesting and also pretty awesome, and I really liked how all of you didn't have like the same question. Like, you may have had a similar question but just worded it differently, so it's definitely great to answer all sorts of different questions and then occasionally answer the same question. I would definitely love to hear your thoughts and opinions on the answers I actually did have to your questions. And once again, I just want to thank you guys so much for all the questions you actually did give me for my 400 subscribers Q&A special. And as always, guys, hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I can see so. Goodbye!